Tough guy Bill O'Reilly can dish it out, but he sure can't take it. Take a look at this clip where he and Stuart Varney of Fox News cry their eyes out because Media Matters is mean to them and covers what they say. Let's listen.
Media Matters, which is just an outrageous propaganda website, a hate site, and they have been for years. And they're tax exempt. How can that possibly happen?
Okay, they are a propaganda machine.
Right.
That's all they do.
Far left propaganda machine.
They're a hate-filled propaganda machine.
Right.
They are, technically, a 501c3 corporation, okay? That means they get a tax break. They're not supposed to engage overtly in politics all the time, but that's exactly what they do. They're supposed to get a tax break, and they do get a tax break, but they're allowed to propaganda. They're allowed to put out propaganda, but it must not be it must be insubstantial.
Okay, that's all they do is propaganda.
That's
and
all
the
it is.
guy who runs it also runs an elect Hillary Clinton outfit.
He does?
So there's no way that the IRS can't know that this is a political unit, all right, devoted to harming conservatives and traditional Americans.
Now, this is not by any means the first time that Bill has said things like this about Media Matters, but I love it every time. Why do they take a video of me and then without adding any commentary, they put it on the internet so people can hear it and they can see me saying it. And then it's actually around for a long time, because unlike TV, this can be searched for, and this can be brought up later, years later, when you continue to say terrible things in a pattern. We can then spotlight that pattern by going back and showing the old clips that you've made. And some of the quotes that he said, so he talks about them being a villain, obviously. We're not terribly surprised by that. It's an outrageous propaganda website, Media Matters. It's a hate site. They have been for years. They're just filled with hate. Now look, chances are very good that you're not familiar with what Media Matters is. It is by no means a mainstream site, and so there's nothing wrong with not being familiar with it. It's one of the websites I go to, and here's what Media Matters does. Is Fox News and basically all the mainstream cable news shows, different blogs, different magazines, newspapers, they go through, and when people say absolutely crazy, absurd, hateful things, they put it online. And so that's where I got that clip from. That's the clip. That is the clip. They literally just show Bill O'Reilly and Stuart Varney talking. And when they say something, they put it up there, and then they create a transcript. Or they'll just have like a section from a blog post, and they'll just point you to it. And then maybe afterward, they'll give you some facts. They don't often even do that in the case of most of Bill O'Reilly's stuff. They literally just put up the clip in the transcript. And to them, these guys who are seasoned professionals when it comes to journalism, who should be inured from some sorts of criticism, they can't take that. Propaganda? There's nothing added. What the fuck? That's what the Nazis did. The Nazis were masters of propaganda because they would take a journalist from the 30s and they'd put up 30 seconds of what he said. Devious, those Nazis. That's propaganda. That's hate-filled. They're just showing, here's, if you don't want them to cover you and you don't want to be a target of their propaganda and their hate, say nice things, Bill O'Reilly. And then that's all they'll have to put up. Now, the tone of their website is hate-filled because it's filled with you. It's filled with your quotes, and you're a hateful old man. And that's all they do, is they create a public record, a log of the things that these crazy motherfuckers say. Now, if you want to say that I'm hate-filled, and I'm propaganda, you can make that case. I add commentary. I say what I believe. I might even mischaracterize from time to time. But Media Matters? They literally just fucking quote you, you little pussy. You can't take even that kind of criticism? How the fuck are you gonna make it in this business? He loves to brag that he's covered 4 wars with a pen, but he can't cover one person covering him with 1 pen. I love this. This is the guy who says that he's the big bad guy who he stands up to everybody. He can't take his own words. Now, yes, if I was Bill O'Reilly, I'd be embarrassed about the things I said too. You know what? Feel free to block the website. You don't gotta go to it. And like I said, if you don't want to be covered in the future, be a reasonable, loving human being. And then they'll have no reason to cover what you say, Bill. That's an interesting strategy. I think that perhaps you should pursue it. But anyway, I this is something that I'm going to come back to from time to time because I just love it. These motherfuckers love to criticize people and dig at people and attack people, calling them deadbeats, calling them lazy, saying they deserve their poverty. But when you just point out that they're saying those things, they cry like the biggest victims in the country.